Anyways, I just want to share with you guys typically what I do on a day-to-day basis. So handling them is one of the things I do. You know, this is Bubba. He's a Ball Python, Orange Dream. I'll put him up real quick and then I'll show you guys. It's kind of like what it is like on a day-to-day basis, like what I do. I swear it's like hard to think sometimes and record, especially with him because he gets so he's just a little defensive. So whenever I'm handling him, I'm always trying to make sure my hands are underneath him just to avoid getting bit. He's never bit me yet, but he's tried a couple times. So a couple times, like, you know, just was handling him and I was like talking to somebody or maybe I was recording, but a couple of times that he would try to go for my hand. But so anyways, whenever I'm holding him, I'm just like always trying to pay attention, which I think it's a great practice in general. So one of the first things a lot of people ask me when they see my enclosures is they always ask like, yo, like how do you keep, you know, your enclosures with, you know, how do you keep the humidity up in these glass enclosures? Well, my trick is this right here. Is this a humidifier? You can get them on Amazon. They're like 30 something bucks, 35 bucks or so. That's one of the first things that like I check in the morning is the humidity, just because like where I live, being in Southern California, you know, it's drier here. So the humidity usually naturally is at 30 to like 40%, you know. So I usually just have a humidifier going in the room. It usually gives me like about 10-20%. Get about 10-20% extra humidity, and that's pretty cool because what ends up happening is that I feel that I don't have to mist it down as much. I just want to show you guys like what I do typically every day and just like the typical process, typical maintenance stuff. Okay, so one of the first things I do is I check the humidity and the temperature. Like right now, the humidity is a little bit lower than what I want. It's right now in the 40s, which is a lot lower than what it should be. And I let it kind of get like that a little bit today just to kind of demonstrate for you guys. So I'll just, you know, mist it, have a little mist it, like so, and I'll just mist it down. Not too much. You don't want to get like you don't want the substrate to be like soggy. I just boosted the humidifier power, so it should make it more humid in here. Yeah, so like that. This is Bubba's enclosure right here. So the first thing I said before, I'll check the humidity and the temperature, make sure it's okay. If the humidity gets too low, like you just saw right there, I'll just mist it down a little bit. I'll just do this sometimes too. Just, you know, it's a little damp. Kind of mix in with some of the drier substrate. Anyways, so I just mix the substrate up a little bit just to, you know, keep it from like, once again, I guess like getting too damp. So each enclosure, you're gonna have to, sorry for this. Especially these type of enclosures, this is like one of those like double door enclosures. And so what you need to do, or what I do, is I went to Lowe's and it's got a piece of plexiglass cut, and you know, I measured this whole entire top part, and then I just put this piece of plexiglass on here. And I don't know, it was maybe about I don't know, like 15 bucks to get. And so it wasn't expensive, and it keeps the humidity in here pretty good, I would say, versus if I don't have that on here. And as you can see, this is double screen, you know, it's easy for the humidity to escape. It's really easy for it to escape, so that's why I put this on there, and that usually does the job with that. And having this humidifier right here, it's pretty awesome. Does wonders, and I really like these enclosures a lot. I haven't had any problems with them. I think you know, my Ball Python, he's been thriving in here. He's been doing well. He's been eating for me and stuff like that. So, you know, I think he likes it. So yeah, it's my Ball Python. Like I said, so the first thing I'll do, check the humidity and the temperature. Usually the temperature is always on point, but you know, just to make sure. I also recommend getting a temperature gun, just so that you can check, or it's called an infrared temperature gun, just so you can kind of check your temperatures on your low sides and also your hot spots. So your cool spots and your hot spots, you know, just to be safe. And so another thing I'll do too, after I check that, I usually look here, and as you can see, those thermostats. So those are my thermostats, and so the top number you see is the current temperature, and the bottom number you see is the desired temperature. So I have 3 of them, since I have 3 different tanks. And so anyways, it's really easy to kind of monitor the hot spots because I have, you know, reliable thermostats, but I still, you know, I'll still use my temperature gun just so that I could check, just to make sure, because sometimes, you may have a thermostat that just isn't quite working well, so it'll say like, oh, it's 92 degrees, but then you'll check it with your gun, and then you may find out that it's actually 98 degrees, or maybe even 105 degrees. So for some reason, and nothing, so you might want to check, as you see that right there, it's like a wire, so that's my probe. The probe goes pretty much like under the substrate on your hotspot. Sometimes your snake can move the thermostat probe, so I would just say just be cautious of that, because in the event of that, it could be giving you the wrong readings. Happens sometimes. So sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and I'll see that the current temperature is like maybe like 82 degrees. I'll immediately check it with my temperature gun, and then I usually find that the probe was just moved over or outside of the area. So once again, just kind of double check on that, and make sure you never put tape on that. By the way, never do tape, because never put tape at all in your enclosure, not on top of the screen, not inside, not even outside. Just avoid tape, just because tape can really damage your snake. It can rip off the skin, and that is a vet bill I don't think you really want to experience. I check all of my snakes, and I do the same thing for all of them, the same procedure for all of them. So also, like, when I check inside, so like when I check inside of the enclosure, I'll also make sure that there is no feces, so I'll check under the hides, like so. So that's my baby boy. He's a jungle BCI boa, and like I said, he's currently in shed, so I'm not trying to mess with him too much. Usually, if they're in shed, I like to bump the humidity up by an additional 10 to 80%. It depends on what species of snake you have, obviously. But that's a boa constrictor imperator, so for him, I like to keep them naturally in that 70% humidity range, and I bump it up. Once again, like since he's in shed, I'll bump it up to 80% just to make it, a little bit nicer for him and make that shed come right off, and just really kind of avoid that stuck shed, kind of stuff. But anyways, that's that one. So that's Bowie, BCI jungle boa constrictor imperator. And here's my other one. She's hiding somewhere in her substrate. Anyway, so she's in there under her hotspot. I won't mess with her really. But yeah, so this is my baby albino BCI boa constrictor imperator. Both of these two are about the same age, roughly. I think she's maybe like a month older than him. So she's about 3 months old, and he's about 2 months old. So yeah, there you go. That's pretty much what I do every single day. I just kind of showed you guys, typically what I do every day, how I check my enclosures, just kind of the day-to-day process of it. It really doesn't take much, because they only poop probably about maybe once every 2 weeks or so. That's contingent upon how often you're feeding your snake. Too, I kind of talked about this earlier, like maybe putting a piece of plexiglass on top. These are some old pieces that I got cut, because I got a whole bunch cut, because I knew that was gonna be collecting snakes. So I was just like, since I'm here, might as well grab several of them. So just measure the top dimension of your screen, and maybe get 2 of them, and maybe cover 75% of it, maybe cover 50% of it. It really depends on where you live, but I think if you cover 75% of your screen, you should be fine. Last but not least, I think it's so important to have a journal. Like, seriously, you keep a journal, and then you can write. I usually like to document everything, so for me, like, having a journal is really important. So a journal and also a planner. So I have both. It just really helps me, well, 1 for my videos, but then 2 for, like cleanings and feedings, and like even like shedding schedules, like all these kind of things I document, just so that I'm never kind of caught off guard, or I don't forget stuff, or it's just easy to just kind of go back, and I'm like, oh, okay, on this day this happened, this one ate, this one didn't eat. It's just really good to just document that stuff, because once again, like I said before, it's just nice to make it like easy for your snake, or comfortable, as much as possible, because if they're comfortable, then handling them is gonna be easier for you. If you watch my videos, you guys know I like to do a challenge. I call it like a positive challenge, or a challenge of the day. It may even refer to as either one of those. So positive of the day, I hope this comes out right. All right, so hopefully you can read that, but it says, I am worthy. It's simple as that. Like, I want you to write that down. It may sound corny. It really sounded corny to me at first, but I tell you this, man, like, I feel so much better that I look at this every single day. I haven't written down in other places, but I always like to rewrite them down and put them in other places, and then, you know, I'll find them and I'll look at them and, like, you know, it's just a constant reminder, kind of like to change your subconscious, and, you know, bad iterations or bad words or bad things you say about yourself, you know, so also, you know, take in mind or take in heart, you know, maybe stop using certain words about yourself, because words are very powerful. And I just want you guys to, I'm not trying to preach or anything like that, but at the end of the day, if you can just do this, you don't have to do it, but if you want to do it, you know, dude, I think it's awesome. It does wonders. So, you know, just write on a piece of paper, I am worthy, and say that out loud to yourself every day. If it's just 1 time a day, great. If it's 5 times a day, even better. If it's 20 times a day, amazing. But anyway, so that's the positive of the day. Yeah, it's been a day, but I appreciate you guys. I think you guys are all beautiful, awesome people. Thanks for watching, and thanks for you know, participating and, you know, supporting the channel, supporting me and my hobby, all this, my little baby snakes and stuff like that, dude. Like, it's awesome. I love what I do, and you know, it's great sharing this with other people. So anyways, it's been awesome, people. You know, peace out. Have a great day. Have a great night, wherever it is time, or whatever time it is that you're watching this. Anyways, Blkhippiee out. Peace.